You expect me to leave my Aston Martin with you? The woman's voice cuts through the shop like broken glass. Designer heels clicking on oil-stained concrete. Sunglasses that cost more than most people's monthly rent. Marcus doesn't look up from the engine block he's rebuilding. 48 years old, grease under his fingernails. Coveralls faded from 1,000 washes. The name patch over his chest reads Mark, the embroidery fraying at the edges. "Ma'am, I'm the only mechanic here today." His voice steady, calm. "But if you'd prefer to wait for a tow to the city, do you have any idea who I am?" He wipes his hands on a rag, looks up, studies her for exactly 3 seconds. "Someone with a broken car," he says. The temperature drops. Her assistant, a nervous young man in a tailored suit, steps forward. "This is Vanessa Hartwell, Hartwell Industries. She's worth—" "I didn't ask what she's worth." Marcus turns back to his work. "I asked if she wants the car fixed." Vanessa's jaw tightens. She's not used to this. People usually stumble over themselves, executives, politicians, even her own board members. But this mechanic in this nowhere shop on the edge of this forgettable town, he acts like she's just another customer. It infuriates her. "Fine." She drops the keys onto his workbench. They clatter against metal. "But if there's a single scratch, there won't be. Or if you take longer than 2 hours, it'll take as long as it takes." Her assistant shifts uncomfortably. Vanessa's eyes narrow. She leans forward, close enough that Marcus can smell her perfume. Expensive, cold. "I could buy this entire shop," she says quietly. "Tear it down, build a parking lot, before lunch." Marcus finally meets her gaze. "Then you'd still need someone to fix your car." Silence. Her assistant's phone buzzes. He glances at it, winces. "Ms. Hartwell, the board meeting starts in 90 minutes. We need to—" "I'm aware." She doesn't break eye contact with Marcus. 2 hours, not a minute more. She turns, heels clicking toward the glass door. Her assistant follows. The door swings shut. Marcus exhales slowly, returns to the engine block in front of him. But his hands have stopped moving. The Aston Martin sits outside, sleek, midnight blue, custom paint. Worth more than this building, more than the land it sits on. He walks to the bay door, studies the car. From here, he can already see the problem, the way it's sitting. Slight list to the right, suspension issue, probably a control arm, maybe a bent subframe if she hit something hard enough. He rolls it into the bay, lifts it, crawls underneath, and freezes. Not a control arm, not a bent subframe. The entire rear differential is cracked, leaking fluid. 1 more mile and the whole drivetrain would have seized. She would have lost control at highway speed. She would have died. Marcus slides out from under the car, stands, stares at the damage. His hands are shaking. 22 years ago. A different shop, a different city, a different life. Marcus wasn't Mark then. He was Marcus Chen, lead engineer for Apex Automotive. 30 prototypes a year, cutting-edge suspension systems, performance engineering that made supercars feel like they were floating. His wife, Elena, used to joke that he loved cars more than her. He'd laugh, kiss her forehead, tell her that wasn't possible. Their daughter, Sophie, was 6, bright, curious. She'd sit in his home garage for hours, handing him tools, asking questions he couldn't always answer. "Why do cars go fast, Daddy?" "Because someone figured out how to make them." "Will you teach me?" "Someday." One evening, Elena took Sophie to get ice cream. A celebration. Sophie's first piano recital. She'd played a simple piece, stumbled twice, but she'd finished, beaming. Marcus stayed late at the shop. One more test, one more adjustment. The call came at 9:47 p.m. A truck, running a red light, T-boned the passenger side. Elena died on impact. Sophie held on for 3 hours. Marcus got to the hospital in time to hold her hand. She looked at him, tried to smile. "Did I play good, Daddy?" "You played perfect, sweetheart." She closed her eyes, didn't open them again. The truck driver survived, suspended license. 3rd DUI, he got 8 years. Marcus quit Apex the next week, sold the house, sold everything, moved to a town where no one knew his name, opened a small shop, changed Marcus to Mark, worked alone, spoke little, survived. He's back under the Aston Martin now, hands moving with precision that doesn't match the setting. This isn't shade tree repair. This is surgical. He fabricates a temporary bracket, reinforces the differential housing. It won't last forever, but it'll get her home alive. Then he checks the suspension, the brakes, the steering linkage, finds 6 other problems: worn bushings, loose bolts, a brake line starting to fray. Whoever maintained this car before didn't care. They just cashed the checks. He fixes everything. 2 hours becomes 4, then 6. He's not thinking about time. He's thinking about Sophie, about Elena, about the difference between being alive and being safe. The assistant returns just after 7 p.m., the sun low and orange through the bay windows. Is it done? His voice tight, nervous. Marcus lowers the lift, wipes his hands. Yeah. Thank God. Ms. Hartwell is... He stops, looks at the car. Wait, what did you do? Fixed it. It looks... different. I aligned the suspension, torqued everything to spec, flushed the brake fluid. It'll drive like it's supposed to now. The assistant pulls out his phone. Okay, how much? Marcus pauses. No charge. What? The differential was cracked. She would have died if she kept driving. I'm not charging someone for staying alive. The assistant stares. You worked for 6 hours, for free. Yeah. Why? Marcus doesn't answer, just hands him the keys. The assistant takes them, still staring. She's going to want to pay you. Tell her I don't want her money. Why not? Because some things aren't about money. The assistant leaves, confused, uncertain. Marcus watches the Aston Martin pull away. Engine note smooth, perfect. He locks the shop, goes home, eats cold leftovers, sits in the dark. It's what he does. 3 days pass. Marcus is under a Civic when the bay door opens. He hears heels, knows who it is before he slides out. Vanessa Hartwell stands in the center of the shop. No assistant, no sunglasses, her expression unreadable. You didn't charge me, she says. No, ma'am. Why? Told your assistant. Some things aren't about money. She takes a step closer. I had 3 other mechanics look at the car. They all said the same thing. The differential was cracked. The suspension was a disaster. If you hadn't fixed it, you would have crashed. Yes. Silence. I need to know who you are, she says quietly. Marcus wipes his hands. Just a mechanic. No. She pulls a folder from her bag, sets it on his workbench. I had someone look into you. Marcus Chen, lead engineer at Apex Automotive, 22 years ago. You designed the suspension system we still use in our performance line. You walked away after... Stop. She does. Marcus's voice is low, steady, but there's weight behind it. That man doesn't exist anymore. Why? Because I lost everything that mattered, and engineering doesn't bring people back. Vanessa's expression shifts, something softer. I'm sorry. He nods. She opens the folder, slides a set of documents across the bench. This is the deed to a building in the city, 20,000 square feet, industrial zoning. It's yours, free and clear. Marcus stares. I don't want... And this, she continues, is a contract. Hartwell Industries wants to fund a training program, automotive engineering, for kids who can't afford college. You'd run it. Why me? Because you don't care about money. You care about the work. And because I've spent the last 3 days thinking about what you said. What did I say? That I'd still need someone to fix my car. You were right. I've spent my whole life buying things, buildings, companies, people. But I can't buy competence. I can't buy integrity. And I sure as hell can't buy the kind of care you put into a car for someone you didn't even like. Marcus looks at the papers, then at her. You really want me to train kids? I want you to teach them what you know, not just the technical side. The other part. The part that made you fix my car for free even though I treated you like dirt. He's quiet for a long moment. I'll think about it. That's all I'm asking. She turns to leave, stops at the door. Marcus? Yeah? Thank you for saving my life. You're welcome. She leaves. Marcus stands alone, staring at the documents, thinking about Sophie, about the tools she used to hand him, about the questions she used to ask. Will you teach me? Someday. If you believe that true generosity comes Without expectation of return, subscribe now. 6 months later, the new facility gleams, glass and steel, clean floors, 20 lift bays, state-of-the-art diagnostic equipment, 32 students in the first cohort, ages 16 to 22, some from foster care, some from broken homes, some just lost. Marcus stands at the front of the room, coveralls still faded, name patch still frayed, but his voice is stronger now. This isn't just about cars, he says. It's about precision, care, responsibility. When you work on someone's car, you're holding their life in your hands. That's not something you take lightly. One student raises a hand, a girl, 17, nervous energy. What if we mess up? Then you fix it, and you learn. That's how you get better. But what if someone gets hurt? Marcus pauses, looks at her, really looks. Then you carry it, he says quietly, and you make sure it never happens again. You don't run, you don't hide, you carry it, and you use it to be better. She nods slowly. Now, Marcus says, moving toward the first bay. Let's talk about differentials. The students gather around. Outside, through the glass wall, Vanessa Hartwell watches. She's in a board meeting on her phone, but she glances up, sees Marcus, sees the students. She's smiling. Her assistant stands beside her. The program's over budget already. Marketing wants to scale back. Tell marketing to stay in their lane. But this isn't marketing. This is the best thing we've ever funded. She looks at him. And if anyone has a problem with that, send them to me. He nods, steps back. Vanessa watches Marcus teach, watches him kneel beside a student who's struggling with a bolt, watches him guide without taking over. She thinks about the day she walked into his shop, the way she spoke, the person she was, and she's grateful. Not because he fixed her car, but because he showed her what she'd forgotten. That wealth doesn't make you valuable, character does. 1 year later, the program expands. 60 students now, 3 cohorts, partnerships with local high schools. Marcus hires 2 instructors, both former engineers who left the industry, both carrying their own losses. They understand. One evening, after the students leave, Marcus sits in his office. A photo on the desk. Elena and Sophie, taken at the beach. Sophie's holding a sandcastle. Elena's laughing. He touches the frame. "I'm teaching, Elena," he whispers, "just like I promised." A knock at the door. Vanessa steps in. No assistant, no entourage, just her. "Wanted to check in," she says. "Program's going well. Kids are learning fast." "Good." She sits across from him. "I also wanted to say thank you, again." "You already did. Not for the car, for this." She gestures around. "For showing me that leadership isn't about power. It's about service." Marcus nods. "I've changed how we run the company," she continues. "Top to bottom, more transparency, better wages, actually listening to people instead of assuming I know everything." She smiles. "Turns out, humility is good for business." "It's good for everything," she laughs, soft, genuine. "Marcus? Yeah? Do you think people can really change after they've been a certain way for a long time?" He looks at her, sees the question beneath the question. "Yeah," he says. "I think they can, if they're willing to face who they were and do the work." She nods, quiet for a moment. "I'm glad I broke down in your town," she says. "Me too." She stands, extends a hand. He shakes it. She leaves. Marcus sits alone. The photo of his family still on the desk, but the weight in his chest is lighter now. Not gone, but lighter. True generosity doesn't come from wealth. It comes from recognizing that another person's life matters more than your pride. Real leadership isn't built on power. It's built on humility, service, and the willingness to change when you realize you've been wrong. And sometimes, the people we dismiss are the ones who save us. If this story moved you, drop a comment with your favorite moment. Hit that like button. And subscribe for more stories about hidden strength, quiet dignity, and the justice that emerges when character meets consequence. Tell us where you're watching from. We'd love to know.